Hello, my dear students. I welcome you all to learn a new chapter, that is modal verbs. Today we are going to learn this and experience the essence knowledge which are given in this chapter. What is modal verb? A modal verb is also known as a helping verb. It gives additional information about the main verb that follows it. Examples: they go out. This is present simple. This modal must gives additional information about the main verb go. They go out, it is a present simple. They must go out, the meaning obligation. It is a compulsory duty. They must go out. Likewise, they should go out. It is advice. They can go out. If we use the modal can, it is permission. They may go out. If we use the word may, it is a possibility. They will go out. It is a simple future. So modal verb is a helping verb. It gives additional information about the main verb like go, which is used in these sentences. Modal verbs, list of modal verbs: can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, ought to, must. All these are modal verbs. When we use modal verbs in a sentence, what is the structure of the sentence? Subject, modal verb, main verb, the next complement. Example sentence: I must go to sleep. Subject, what is subject? The doer of action. Subject, next modal verb, next main verb, then complement. I must go to sleep. I can drink some water. I should eat some food. So we can use the subject I, we, they, you, he, she, it. So for all the subject, for all the persons, we have to use the modal verbs after the subject, before the main verb. So this is the structure of the sentence: subject, modal, verb. Example: Mary could play the piano. Modal verbs, next information, important information. Modal verbs do not add s or es to the third person singular. For example, in the simple present tense, he swims. Because subject he, third person singular, we have to add s with the swim. But when we come to use the modal verbs in the sentence, here the modal verb can is used. Can. He can swim. You should not add s with the modal can here. The rule adding s or es or ies with the verb when it is used in the third person singular, that is applicable for only simple present tense. But here when we use modal verb, we have to use as it is. He can swim. You should not add s with that or es. You should remember the form. There is no s in the singular for the singular verb, and there is no do or does in the question, and there is no don't, doesn't in the negative form. He can ski. You should not write he can ski or he can skis. That is wrong. Would you like to come with me? This is the right form. Do you would like to come with me? This sentence is the wrong sentence. So you have to say, would you like to come with me? You should not write in this way. They can't be serious. This is the right sentence. You should not write they don't can be serious. Oh, it's wrong. So what is that? There is no yes in the singular. There is no do or does in the question. There is no don't or doesn't in the negative sentence. Modal verbs don't need auxiliaries to form negative or questions. Just before I told you, we have to use they should stay. She should stay. You should not write she doesn't should stay. You have to, if you want to write in a negative, you have to write she shouldn't stay. Next in the question sentence, why does he stay? Instead of that, you have to write why should she stay? This is the question sentence when you are using modal verb. Modal verbs don't have infinitives or ing form. Example, the word can, that is modal. Canning, you should not use the modal in the progressive form, that is using ing or infinitive. To might is wrong, to can is wrong. To should is wrong. So the form, you should be very clear about the form. Modal verbs do not have infinitives or ing forms. You should not use to can or canning, to must or musting. That's wrong. Modal verbs are followed by an infinitive without the preposition to. Example, she must study. We should have gone the other way. He could play football in his youth. So you should not use the preposition to here. Modal verbs. When we use modal verbs, we can use for all the four forms. For example, the previous classes we studied about past tense, present tense, future tense. Each tense have four forms. For example, simple present tense, present continuous, present perfect continuous. Likewise, there are four forms in the past and there are four forms in the future. So here, the four forms, you can use the modal verbs in all the four forms. Example sentence. In the simple form, I could work. In the progressive form, that is continuous form, I could be working. In the perfect form, I could have worked. Perfect continuous, I could have been working. You can use all the modal verbs in these four forms. In this way, we can learn about all the modals in detail in the following slides. So we are going to study about can, could, may, might, ought to, shall, should, will, would, and we are going to study about all the modal verbs. May, might, must, shall, could, will, would, ought to, should, have to. Here, have to, dare, used to, need. All these modals are semi-modals. Remaining all modal verbs. Have to, dare, used to, need. All these words are modal verbs are semi-modals. So we can study about all the modals in detail. First of all, we'll study about the modal verb can. Can, modal verb can. One of the most commonly used modals in English. It can express ideas such as capacity, permission, or request. So we can study about this modal can in detail. We use this modal verb to express the concept, that is ability in the present form, possibility in the present form, permission in the informal form, a request in the informal form, offer, and in the negative form, that is not allowed. So we can use the modal verb can. First of all, for the ability in the present form, the example sentence, I can speak 4 languages. I can speak 4 languages. We express our ability in the present. So we use the modal verb can. Next, possibility. Smoking can cause cancer. So this is possibility in present. Next, permission. We use this modal verb can, giving permission in the informal way. Can I use your book, please? Informally we are asking this. Request, we use this modal verb. Can you hand me the pen? So it is an informal way of asking. Then offering our help. Can I help you? Cannot, we use can plus not in the negative form, which is not allowed. You cannot smoke here. The cannot short form, can't. You can't smoke here. We use the modal auxiliary can in the positive way. We use the can in the negative way. Example sentence, I can run, the positive sentence, that is affirmative sentence using the modal verb. I can run, I can sing, a bird can fly, a bird can sing, a fish can swim. Negative sentence using the modal verb, modal auxiliary. I can't fly, cannot fly, a turtle cannot run, short form can't run. A cat can't swim, full form of can't, cannot. Next modal auxiliary, could. This modal auxiliary expresses possibility, past ability, as well as suggestions and request. The modal verb could we use to express the ability in the past. Example sentence, I could play a guitar when I was a child. I could play a guitar when I was a child. So we use the modal verb could to express ability in the past. The next we use for suggestion, possibility, request in the formal context, permission. The next conditional of the can we are using. Example sentence, suggestion. When we give suggestion, so example sentence for that, I could help you with English, suggestion. Possibility in the past, a lot of crime could be prevented. Possibility in the past. Then request in the formal way, could you lend me this book? Could you lend me this book? Permission in the formal form, could we have home now? This is a formal way of permission. Could we go home now? Conditional of can, I could visit many places if I had more money. If clause, that is conditional clause. We are using could in the conditional clause. This modal auxiliary could is used to express ability in the past, possibility in the past, permission in the polite way, and request in the polite way, a suggestion and conditional of can we are using in these ways. So we should use this could in a proper way in a sentence when you write the sentence. The sentence form, how to write affirmative sentence, that is positive sentence using the modal auxiliary could, and negative sentence, question sentence. When we write positive sentence using the modal auxiliary could, subject could plus V1, that is base form verb. Example sentence, you can dance well. Negative sentence, subject plus could not or couldn't plus V1. You couldn't speak well. Example sentence. Question sentence, out of frame question sentence. First of all, you got to use modal verb could plus subject plus V1. Could you speak well? This is question. What is the differentiation between this can and could? Can we are using to express ability in the present. Could, this modal auxiliary we use to express ability in the past. And can we use for the possibility in the present. Could is used to express possibility in the past. And we use the modal auxiliary can for the permission to ask in the informal way. But we use could. We use this modal auxiliary for permission in the polite way. He could help you if he could, polite way. Request in formal way, can is used to express a request in the informal way. Could, we use the modal auxiliary to request in the polite way. Could you open the door please? Can you give me a hand? That is informal way. Could you open the door please? That is polite way. We use the modal auxiliary could. Then can we use for offer. How can I help you? This offer. And here can is could is used for suggestion. You could call me whenever you want. Suggestion. Here cannot, the negative form, the things which is not allowed. You can't smoke here. This is the hospital. So here we use could for conditional form of can. So we use the could in the conditional clauses. That is if clause. If you call me, I could help you. And this differentiation between can and could, when you know clearly, you can speak, you can write properly using these models, can and could. Next modal auxiliary, will. The modal verb will is more commonly used to talk about future situations. Nonetheless, it can also be used to talk about the present when we want to make a request. It is also used in situation in which we make instant decisions. So particularly we can know the situation where we use the modal auxiliary will. For the future context, I will be 40 in March. I'll be late to the meeting tomorrow. Future. For a request, we use this modal auxiliary. Will you call me when you get home? Will you help me with my homework? Next, we use modal auxiliary for offer, willingness. We will pay for you. I will give you a ride home. So offer and willingness. For refusal in the negative way, we use this modal auxiliary. She will not return his calls. My mom won't let me go to the party. Refusal, the negative way. And we use the will in the conditional clauses. If it rains, I will bring an umbrella. If Jew wins the race, she will be happy. So conditional clause. If it rains, I will bring an umbrella. Conditional clause. We use the modal auxiliary will in the conditional clause. So remember one thing. We use the modal auxiliary will for the future and for the willingness, a request and order. For order we use you will do as you are told. For the conditional clauses we use the modal auxiliary will. Next modal auxiliary would. Where to use the modal auxiliary would? Would, the modal auxiliary would is more commonly used to create conditional verb tenses. In addition, it can be used to make offers, request, and talk about past habits. So we can list out the usage of the would. First of all, we use for the conditional clauses. Second type and third type. Conditional clauses, there are three types. First type, second type, third type. Second type and third type we use the conditional clause. Second type, if we had a car, we would drive to work. The modal auxiliary would is used in the second conditional clause. And third conditional, if he had gone to the party, he would have seen a lot of his friends. So would have seen, here would, modal auxiliary would we are using in the third conditional. And we use the modal auxiliary would for request in the polite way. Would you lend me a pen please? Would you lend me a pen please? Polite request. I would like more coffee please. Polite request. For offer, the polite way. Would you like me to drive you home? Would you care to join us for dinner? Offering the help in a polite way. Next, the future form of will, that is would. Here we thought we would arrive on time, but we were late. So future in the past. And habit in the past. Some habits we had in the past, we use would here. When I lived in the country, I would go for a walk in the woods every day. Habits in the past. So we use would for expressing the habit in the past. So you should know the differentiation between will and would. Remember one thing, will is the present form and would is the past. Past form of will is, that is would. And we use the will for requesting, for the request in the informal way. Will you help me? This is informal way. In the same context for the request, we use would in the polite way. Would you help me? Polite way. A refusal, for the negative form we use will. He won't help me. For the refusal in the past, he wouldn't help me. Next, will for the offering help. I will help you. For the present and future. And we use would for the offering help in the past. I would have helped you. Would plus present perfect. Next, we use will for the conditional if clause first type. Will we use for the conditional clause first type. If he asks me, I will help you. Conditional clause second and third, we use would. Second, if I had a boat, I would sail around the world. Third type, if he had asked me, I would have helped him. So would we are using in this context. Normally we use will for the future. He will tutor me next month. Future in the past. For that purpose we are using the modal auxiliary would. So remember the differentiation between will and would. When you know it clearly, you can use it properly without mistake. Next, we know about modal auxiliary shall. Modal auxiliary shall. This modal auxiliary, the modal verb shall, indicates a future action. It is more commonly used with the first person singular and plural. First person singular, I. Plural, we. Often found in suggestion, promises, or predestinations. So we can study it clearly. Originally, shall was used instead of will in the first person. That is singular I and plural we. When talking about the future. In all of these examples below we have given, shall can be replaced by another modal verb. So here, shall I get a pizza for dinner tonight? So I, for offering help, that bag looks heavy, shall I carry it for you? Instruction, when you are giving instruction we are using shall. What shall I do with your mail when it arrives? Asking for or giving the instructions. Next we use for promises. You shall be the first person to know. And we use shall for confirmation. I shall meet you there at 7. So the shall, the modal verb shall is not used much nowadays. It may still be found in formal speech and some legal documents. Remember, the modal verb shall is not used much nowadays. It may still be found in formal speech and some legal documents. The most common use of shall in everyday English in questions that offer or suggest shall I, shall be. Originally shall was used instead of will in the first person with the I and we when we talking about the future. So we use a shall for suggestions, offers, instructions, promises, confirmations. So remember this, we use the modal auxiliary shall to give offer, suggest, ask for advice, to say what is the best thing or the right thing to do. We know this. Next one, should. The modal auxiliary should. We use modal auxiliary should for this context. The modal auxiliary should is more commonly used to give recommendations or advices. It can also be used to talk about obligations as well as expectation. Remember, we should use the word should. First one, advice or suggestion. Your hair is too long, you should get a haircut. Advice or suggestion. Second one, situation likely in the present. Mary should be at home now. Give her a call. Situation likely in the present. Likely in the future, prediction. They should win tonight. They are a better team. So we use this. The modal auxiliary should can be replaced by ought to without a change in the meaning. So here, you ought to study more. It is same meaning, you should study more. But here, ought to sounds more formal than should and is used less frequently. Remember one thing, we use should and ought to in the same context, same meaning. You ought to study more is equal to you should study more. But remember, ought to, this is also modal auxiliary. We use ought to sounds more formal than should. So when we use should in the negative sentence, we use shouldn't to advise not to do something. Usually because it is a bad or wrong. You shouldn't throw your litter onto the street. He shouldn't play with those wires if he doesn't know what he's doing. You shouldn't work so much. So these are the negative of using this modal auxiliary should. Remember, we use the modal auxiliary should for giving advice, obligation and probability or expectation. Advice, obligation. Obligation, in the meaning of the word obligation, moral duty. Morally and legally bound, the work, the duty is to be done. For that we are using that the modal should. The meaning of the word obligation, legally or morally, that is the duty which is legally and morally bound. So remember the usage of modal and use wisely and without mistake. Next modal, may. The modal may is most commonly used to express possibility. It can also be used to give or ask for permission. We use modal auxiliary for the possibility, permission, request or wish. Possibility, see may be at home, possibility. Ask permission, may I sit here. Giving permission, yes you may go now, that's giving permission. Request, may I have the bill, please. So for wish, may you both be very happy. Wishing others, we use the modal auxiliary may. So remember, may is used in the possibilities that we expect to take place now or in the future. Or in the sentences, we expressly ask for permissions. So we have seen these are all the purpose of using the modal verb may. Next modal verb, might. Might is more commonly used to indicate possibility. However, it can also be used to make suggestions or requests. This is a rare use. So here, modal verbs you are using for suggestion. You might want to take a break. You might try this cake. You might not see him tomorrow. Suggestion. Possibility, it might rain today. I might possibly go to the theatre tonight. And conditional clauses we are using. If I had waited longer late last night, I might have found out about it. If I enter the contest, I might win. We are using for conditional clauses. What is the differentiation between may and might? The key difference between may and might. The may is the present form, might is the past form of may. May we use for possibility, for higher possibility. She may be at home, higher possibility. Here might also we are using for possibility, that is not higher possibility. He might like playing basketball. And here may for we are using for permission. And might for giving permission and asking permission, more formal, that is very important. And when we are giving permission, we are using may. Yes, you may go now. We are using might for giving permission, that is more formal. And we are using for giving suggestion, politely. You might try my cheesecake. Politely we are giving permission. We are giving suggestion. Next we are using may for request. May I have the bill please. Here if we ask, if we request, more formally we can use might. Might I borrow your book? More formal. And we use may for wish, only may. May you both be very happy. This might we use for the conditional clauses. Example sentence is given here. Next modal auxiliary, must. The modal verb must can be used to talk about certainty. That is, something you are almost sure is true. Moreover, it can be used to talk about obligation, prohibition, necessity, or strong recommendation. Must. The speaker thinks it is necessary. We can use have to in this context. Another person thinks it is necessary. So we use must for personal opinion. We use have to for external obligation. We use the modal auxiliary must in the written rules and instruction. But we are using have to for the facts and not opinions. So we are using the same meaning in the using the different model. Here must is a model and have to is a semi-model. It is not a model, the auxiliary verb. Teacher says you must complete the essay by Friday. Student says we have to complete the essay by Friday. So when the teacher gives, that is the written rule, instruction. So when the verb have to used by the student, it gives different meaning. Must, have to. More clearly if you want to know, we use must to express a stronger point of view. We need to, we have to. The model must also expresses opinion, one person's point of view. But have to, something you need to do following a rule. So your structure when we use a have to or has to plus V1 form. Example sentence using model, we must fasten our seat belts. When we use have to or has to, here he has to see the doctor. So see the difference between must and have to, we can use it clearly. Must, how to use must in the positive sentence, negative sentence and question sentence. And how to use have to in the positive sentence, negative sentence and the question sentence. My dear students, know this fact. We use should and must. When we use, we think that it is the same meaning, but there is a difference here. When we use should, we give advice, but when we use must, the modal auxiliary, it is obligation, necessity, compulsory. The stronger form, that is must. Next model, that is a semi-modal, need. It is used in this context. Need can be used as a modal verb or as a main verb with no change in the meaning. Need I put more oil in my car? Do I need to put more oil in my car? When we use as modal, we use this, and we use as a main verb, we can use in this way. So the word need, it is necessary to. In this context we are using need. Like an ordinary verb, need to. So it is a softer alternative of this model, must or have to. I must or I need to finish it tonight because I want to take tomorrow off. I have to or need to finish it tonight. So we can use need, must, have to for expressing the things which we think in this way. My dear students, you know the differentiation between needn't and don't need. Instead of needn't, you can use don't or doesn't need to. After that you have to add to. We needn't hurry. If you use needn't, you need not to use to preposition here. We needn't hurry or we don't need to hurry. Needn't and don't need are similar. Remember, if you use needn't, don't use to. If you use don't need, use to. So the word semi-modal need in the past. For the positive sentence, I needed something to drink. For the negative sentence, it was not necessary, so I didn't need it. I didn't need to come to the official language school yesterday. So the negative form. So positive sentence and negative sentence used here. Next or to. It is a semi-modal. Or to. This is used to advise or make recommendations. It is used to advise or make recommendation. It can also express assumption, expectation, or strong probability when the context implies that something is reserved. You can use ought to, should, or shouldn't to express advice or recommendations. Candidates should be friendly. You shouldn't worry too much about exams. Candidates ought to be friendly. Here, should, ought to be. Giving advice, when we give advice, we can use the both. But the difference, what is the meaning? Actual meaning, when we use the modal auxiliary ought to. We use to give suggest an occasion, an action, or to show that is necessary. We use the modal auxiliary ought to suggest an action. You ought to revise your lesson. Margaret ought to exercise more. So advice. And probability. For the probability we are using this modal auxiliary. Our team ought to win this match for today. She ought to receive the package tonight. So remember, not usually used in questions and negative sentences. We are not using the modal auxiliary ought to in the questions and negative. We are using for the positive sentences. So we use must, should, ought to for obligation. The meaning of the word obligation? The duty which is morally and legally bound. So for that context we are using must, should, ought to. Must we use, it is a full obligation, stronger version. That is a partial obligation, should, commonly we are using. For example, must, using the modal auxiliary must, you must tell the police the truth. Common, you should tell your friends the truth. Less common, you ought to tell your friends the truth. Less common. So full obligation, partial obligation, and partial obligation we are using This must, should, and ought to. Next, modal auxiliary. My dear students, remember it is a semi-modal used to for the positive sentence. I play. I used to play. The used to we are using for repeated action in the past, which are usually finished in the past. Repeated action in the past. I used to swim when I was a small boy. So used to we are using for repeated action in the past. You can always use the past simple instead of used to for the action that happened only once in the past, and you can, if the action which happened repeatedly in the past, you can use used to. You can use past tense also instead of used to. Next, the last one, dare. This is a modal auxiliary and we will call this semi-modal. The modal auxiliary dare. We use modal auxiliary to express this situation. So the example sentence, daren't, to express that someone is afraid of something at some moment of speaking. See, daren't look at me. So daren't in the negative way. For the indignant and resentful exclamation, how dare you touch my daughter? For this context we are using this dare. This is equivalent to I suppose, I believe. Example sentence, I dare say he will come back soon. Then we expect him to. I dare say you are ready for the driver's license test. So we use this dare equivalent to I suppose, I believe. Negative form for the first examples, and next equivalent to suppose and believe we are using in this way. The examples and are given here. My dear students, you learn this modal auxiliary again. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. I will clarify your doubt. Listen again and again and learn. Ask me a doubt. I will clarify your doubt. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear students.